Good morning, everybody. This is Johnny Seville from Acorn Wealth Corp, and I just wanted to give you a little extra from last night's written report. There wasn't a video attached to last night's written report, as we did have an extended 2-hour trading room session. So instead, I wanted to give you a quick rundown of the orders I'm looking to put in today. Obviously, the S&P 500 is did break down below open range. So technically, that's a bearish signal. If we just look at the way that the S&P 500's performing before market open, this shows us the aftermarket data. Let's just go into the hourly chart. There we go. So what you can see here is we've been bouncing back and forth kind of in this downward oscillation, which could mean a head and shoulder pattern, but we want to see this kind of neckline hole. As you can see, just before the market open, we're just kind of edging up into that. So there's a little bit of a bullish push in the pre-market hours, but that can fade quickly, as we all know. The key thing that obviously occurred is we did see a break in open range. So there's your low of Tuesday's trading, and there we go. That was. Let's have a look here. Let's just get that properly drawn out. Yeah. So if we go in and have a look at where we broke down, we did break through that open range to the downside. So that would indicate a possible bearish open range for the first few weeks of January, which brings us through to the close on the 17th is when this open range signal is over. So again, you can see there's some bullish movement in today's early morning trading. So we'll see if that's able to continue and where that pushes up to. Obviously, the high of our open range is up here. So that's the resistance zone that of the open range period. So anyway, I wanted to share with you some of the possible plays, both for the short and the long side. SDS, which is the one which we've already been alerted you to. I got out of this one already. I may look to get back in as a hedge, and I'll be looking at a stop signal a little bit lower than where it's currently at. It's currently at 42.43. I might lower that just a little bit to 42.13 to respect kind of where the open range low was. So that just gives us, by just putting it down a little bit, that's going to allow me to just give it a little bit more wiggle room, which I'm happy to do. So we'll just take that down a little bit here. And where is it? Where's the value? Hang on a second. There we go, 42.13. Okay. Is where I'm looking at the stop signal there, just to give it, again, a little bit more room to wiggle. So there's the first one. The next one is Wendy's. Wendy's has appeared to be slightly rolling over. Now with these shorts, what I've elected to do here, just for my own personal positions, is I've got some fairly tight stop losses on, but I've got a variety of setups. So that's basically the idea, is that some will stop out potentially, but others should perform. And of course, I've also got, I've also got longs to hedge against that, which I'll show you as well. So Wendy's is another one here. I'm looking at a stop. This is the 1-hour chart. You can see it's just starting to roll over here. Some good volume towards the end of the day. But if we have a look at the daily chart, you'll see Wendy's has kind of this upward oscillation consolidation, and it had broken through a key level of support here around 1540. So there was that's a big break, and it's rallied back up into resistance, and that's the reason for the short setup. There's insider selling, so I'm looking at a stop signal of 1587 and a first target of 1487, which is just a little bit above here. But really, I'm looking just to lower the stop loss and hope that continues to fall once hitting that, and take a little bit of profit at that first target. I've got WEX. WEX, which is again something we're already following, but does have a new potential entry after that nice breakdown there. So with this one, I'm looking at a possible entry here. We'll go into the hourly chart, and you can see just how it's moving. And let's just move this up a little bit. There we go. So that's not the right one. Hang on, WEX, the stock, not whatever that is. Um, yes, as you can see, it's kind of that's rolling over a little bit more confidently. You can see the money flow not quite yet to break below zero on the hourly chart. So again, I'd like to see this break down a little bit further. So if we do get a bullish move in the market, then we get a little bit more confirmation of that. So with WEX, I'd be waiting to see that break below. Let's have a look here, 130.72. Okay, so there we go. Um, and I'd look at a stop signal there of 141.53, and of course the next target here is 119.33 are the levels I'm looking to program in there. Um, we've got ICUI is another one. So all these are ones I'm looking to just pre-program into the brokerage account. ICUI has also had a lot of insider selling. The concern with any of these is, of course, if we do get a failed open range and the market rallies. So this is why I'm looking for kind of a breakdown to enter a short, just so we don't get things like possible inverted head and shoulders that you could see. Could be a potential there on ICUI. So I mean, I'd wait for that to break down below. Let's have a look here. 218, 218.13. Um, just to get an extra bit of confirmation, the stop signal I'd be looking at would be 231.57, and the target is 183.41. Okay, so we've got that one. NYT, I'm already holding the puts in this one, and this one does look good. As you can see, this is one of my perhaps more favorite ones, just because there's so much insider selling, and it's just if you look at the daily chart, it just looks it just broke through that new level of resistance. So I'm looking to add to my position, adding some puts to this, and looking at the possibly adding a stock position as well short with a stop loss at 23.11, and the target is still 17.83. So there's NYT. INTU is also one with some good insider selling. It's been a bit of a messy chart, so it's kind of been wiggling around a bit here. So I'd be looking for this one if we get again zoom into the hourly chart. I'd wait for just a little bit of a further move down, but as you can see so far, it seems to be pushing nicely. So I'd look to see that break below 187.57. My target there is 152.33, and stop signal 201.13. The last two on the short list is HPQ. HPQ, Hewlett Packard, a lot of insider selling on this one as well. I got some 100% sales on this one. So again, that's why I kind of like this one. I already exited my short because it hit the target, and I'm looking to possibly re-enter that. Now we have a bearish open range, so I'm looking at a stop signal of 2103, a target of 1653, and so I just want to see that again, push a little bit lower in the early morning hours, maybe even just to break that recent hourly low of 1967. There we go. It's 1967 there is what I'm looking at there. The other one, now this doesn't have a lot of insider selling, so that's its one downfall. But MKC, which we talked about in trading room tonight, does have some decent patterns. It ran up and hit the stop signal just ever so slightly, but does appear to be to possibly be rolling over again. So again, if that breaks below 131, 131.30, I'd be looking to stop signal at 140.77, and target is what first target at least is 125.13. So those are my shorts to kick off the new year with. On the long side, here's some hedges that I liked. Now we talked about this one in Trading Room. TEUM seems to have the characteristics of a fallen angel. The ideal entry was actually back here at 165, so it has already taken off a little bit, meaning that with this one, I'm going to give it a tight stop signal, so that it look if it stops out, it stops out. And it may end up rallying up to $5 and stop you out before it does that. That's just the name of the game. But my goal here is to have more positions with tight stop losses so that the really strong ones just power through. And if one pulls back and stops me out before it powers up, oh well, we're not married to the thing. We can go and look for a new one. But so TEUM, I'm looking for a break above 186, and I'm looking for a stop signal there of 172. The targets I have at 213 and 231, where I look to obviously start protecting some of that profit, if not take a little bit on the way up. PVG is another one. PVG it appears to be an inverted head and shoulder breakout. It again is it's a bit messy, so it's maybe not your average trade for your average novice, but it did have a nice big strong candle and seems to have been pushing up in a downward market. So for those reasons, I do like that actually. And with PVG, I'd be looking for a possible entry here. And again, looking at once again a tight stop loss. If I look at the hourly chart, you can see that it is creeping up quite nicely. So I'd be looking at a tight stop of 866, which is just below these last two big green candles of volume. So again, it's a tight stop, more of a kind of a day trader mentality. There's only about 20 odd cents there between where it is currently and that idea. I'd have a target of 973. So about 80 cents of reward for 20 cents of risk. That's not bad. GLXY was the other one we talked about. So if you're a cryptocurrency blockchain fan, you can see that this one is actually again kind of a potential fallen angel type of setup. It's got the potential of actually being a flag at the moment, and there's that kind of pennant forming in the flag area. We don't know what the shape's going to be until it has another bounce on the bottom. So with this something like this, again, it's a speculative crypto play, but as you can see, it appears to have some guts. This is Let's have a look. This is on the TSX. The symbol on the US is what is what's the symbol there on the US? BRPHF. BRPHF. Okay, so speculative play if you're into the blockchain crypto space. I'd be looking for it to break above this little reversal that I had there of 139. So I'd look to say, look, break above 141. So it would be a longer term potential speculation on crypto, really, and blockchain technology. And Again, we'll go back to the daily chart. Whoops. Go back to the daily chart, and you can see, hopefully, it's a bit of a strange chart here. Doesn't display very well here. Let's just go back and there you go. Oh, it's actually already on this chart. There you go. So there's GLXY charted up on my incredible charts. So there's that possible flag building, and so as you can see, that would be a possible push from a flag perspective, taking you up into that zone there. So the first kind of target would be around 173. Um, where you want to start protecting the profits or possibly take some profit. And I'd be looking at a stop signal again as a speculative play. You're looking to go further. So I'd be looking at a stop signal to begin with of 87 cents. Okay, and then for your last two, we've got RDUS. RDUS is actually a possible downward channel breakout with the insider buying. So simple setup here. If it breaks 1787, I'd look at a short-term target of 2087. Stop signal I'd look at to begin with is 1587. And last but not least, LGCY, which also is a possible fallen angel setup. It still hasn't quite yet broken out. It's just in the early stages, but the volume started to come in, which is good. So this one doesn't look too bad either. We'll just zoom into the hourly chart, and you can see some of the setups here, so you can see that nice momentum coming through on the hourly. So the stop signal I've uh, looked at there is 133. Underneath that last kind of push of support, we do have some support here as well at 153, but it's still battling back and forth. We don't know which one's going to win yet between the resistance at 184 and the support at 156. So I'd be looking at a stop signal of 133. I'd be looking at a first target of 343, longer term play, and I'd be looking for a possible entry here at the current price, which is at 171. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the ones that I'm looking at. Obviously, there's plenty of other options. And maybe you like some of those, maybe you don't. And I'm choosing this from a perspective of that in my trading, in the shorter term portfolio, I had taken profit on quite a lot of positions. So I'm looking at repositioning. So this is kind of the menu that I felt was a nice spread between longs and shorts. And I mean, again, all of these have preset entries, exits, and targets that I've looked at. So there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 longs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shorts. SDS technically being a long, but it is a short. So if you look at that span, that's what, 13 companies roughly. So even if you had a $20,000 portfolio, you could still, if you got cheap enough brokerage fees, you can still spread yourself over a nice spread of stocks. But anyway, regardless of how you trade, those are some of the ideas that I had, and I hope those help. So again, have a great day trading, and we'll see you on the other side of the weekend. Cheers.